Grandma, you have traveled a lot of places. What have been some of your favorite places and why?
I think that my favorite place would be England. I think I could go back there again and again and still see something new. And I think that might be because I like English history. And English history is so much of the United States history that since we were originally colonies of England, that I think that may be one reason. And another reason might be because my father did a lot of genealogy, and he found out a lot about our ancestors who were in England, and he went back to the 1500s. He traced back our ancestors, and it was exciting to me to get to go to Yorkshire, and that wasn't too long ago. That I'd been there a couple of times, but never been to Yorkshire, and that's where our family originally came from. But I also liked Germany very much, and I liked Italy. I thought Italy was a fascinating place, and I had studied Latin for 3 years in high school, so I knew a lot about the places that we wanted to see there. Another exciting time was when we got to go to China, and that was because of Dolan, because he was doing business there, and TI was one of the first American companies to get to go over there and make deals with the Chinese. So we were, not many people from the United States were able to visit China, and at the time we went there. So it was really neat to see something that not many people had the opportunity to see there.
Grandpa, what are some of your favorite stories and places from your business travel?
Business travel. I did a lot of business travel. Is that all you want to know? No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you a little bit more than that. But that was one of the really neat. Well, it was neat, but also a drag. But one of the interesting parts of working with GSI is it was worldwide, and you got to go do your job in a lot of different places and see a lot of different, interesting places. Some of them not so interesting. All of them weren't pretty, but nevertheless. But I've been to nearly all the North and South American countries to see what they're like. I've been to a lot of the Far East, Australia, as Grandma mentioned, China and the Philippines, Indonesia and Malaysia. And that's neat because it's all so different. The parts I haven't seen very much of are the Eastern Europe and the former Soviet bloc. I've seen a little of, I've been in a little of that, the western parts of the Soviet bloc, but you know, the Poland's and so forth, and Hungary and so forth, I don't know much about, but it's really been neat. And I guess I kind of agree with Grandma that England, the UK is a very interesting place, but the China experience was really neat too, because they went out of their way to show us a lot of the historical spots, the Great Wall, the Ming tombs, the et ceteras and et cetera. So I really enjoyed that. And they invited her to come over there for her 25th wedding anniversary, and that's where we, as I recall, that's where we celebrated that. So that was one of the side benefits of working with GSI was the travel. Well, I got to do a lot more traveling than she did, but she got to do quite a bit as well. So that's about all I know about that.
Well, I have a follow-up question on there. Was there any place you had a particularly bad travel experience that you remember?
Mostly in the airport someplace. I can't think of anything really horrible other than, you know, the mechanical parts of it sometimes, where you get hung up and the airplane don't work or so forth, but the places, you know, the Egypts, the Beiruts and so forth, that all worked just fine. And I didn't go to Nigeria, so I don't, that might have changed my attitude if I'd gone there.
Oh, are there any closing comments you would like to add?
Well, I feel very fortunate to have the parents I had. They had a lot of interests and they wanted me to learn about a lot of different things. My dad and mother loved to travel, and I was lucky to take a lot of neat trips with them. But also they gave me all kinds of lessons. I had tap dancing lessons, piano lessons, as you know, expression lessons, and I think their curiosity about the world helped me a lot. And my mother would take me to the symphony and the opera when I was just a little girl, and that was a plus. But I think the luckiest thing was having to move and see all these places, because it taught me, having grown up in just one place in one city, it taught me how to learn to talk to all different kinds of people. And because of Grandpa's work, of course, we met people from all over the world. And I can't imagine really what my life would be if I had grown up in Kansas City like some of my friends stayed there their whole lives. They never lived any place except Kansas City, and that seems hard for me to imagine. And also, I think we're very lucky to have had the children we have who want to keep us involved with their families, neat grandchildren, and have helped us a lot. As we have gotten older, we're lucky to have the kids we have and grandkids.
May I ask a question I didn't get to ask earlier?
Sure.
What kind of work did your parents do again?
Oh, okay. My father was an attorney who worked for an insurance company, and he became claim manager, which means, like, you know, when people have an accident, they file a claim, or when their house floods, they file a claim. And he traveled around advising other lawyers. He traveled some on the cases. He did not go to court himself, but he would go and sit in on important trials in other cities. And my mother had many jobs. She worked for the paper in her town when she graduated from high school, and saved the money to go to college. And my father had to do that too. They did not have parents who could afford to send them to college, so they worked right out of high school. And my mother worked as a secretary, and also she sold real estate for a while and had a lot of jobs, different jobs.
Okay, thank you.
Grandpa, any closing comments?
Well, I would second a lot of what your grandmother just said about getting to live in a lot of different environments. That taught us how to be a little more tolerant, maybe, of other people's opinions and cultures and so forth. Taught our family, you know, to be able to adapt and adjust to surprising places to live and so forth. And so I think it's helped all of us get through life a little easier and enjoy what we have been able to enjoy. And it's been a neat time, and I intend to keep going for a while and enjoy it some more. watch you two kids grow up and go get started on your own too. You'll discover y'all have some fun things to do too. So, it's been fun for you guys to ask about this. I was a little surprised when I heard this was going to happen, but it turned out I thought to be a lot of fun. So I'm glad you asked.
Okay, thanks everyone.